Hey guys, it's your girl Angelica on behalf of F.A.T.E Global, the Foundation for Artistic Talent and Empowerment. I'm going to go ahead and tag the Foundation for Artistic Talent and Empowerment below. Also, Rob Moss is who we will be interviewing today. He'll be in shortly. We'll go ahead and send him an invite. Just want to say that we hope that you guys are safe and healthy, that you're remaining, sane and staying focused and happy. We're sending you love and light on behalf of F.A.T.E Global. Hello, thanks for joining us. So we're just going to wait for Rob Moss to come in. He's an amazing singer. He's going to be dropping a lot of new music as he's done in the past. And so we're just going to talk to him about his journey. Hope that he can share his testimony with us and that we can learn a few things from him today. So we'll just wait for Rob to come in here. Actually, we'll go ahead and send him an invite as well to be on the safe side. Hey guys, thanks for coming in here. Thanks for joining. So we're just waiting for Rob to join us now. Hello, thanks for joining us. Again, we're just awaiting Rob Moss. So again, I'm Angelica on behalf of the Foundation for Artistic Talent and Empowerment. And today we will be interviewing with Rob Moss, who's an amazing singer, talented songwriter living out in LA, making amazing music. So we're going to talk to him about his journey as well as the new music that he'll be releasing. He's joined us. Hi, brother. Thanks for coming in. So we're going to go ahead and add Rob Moss now. So again, we'll be interviewing with Rob Moss. If you're just coming in, you haven't missed anything, thank God. Awesome. Go ahead and get him in here. Our page below.
Bro, I'm
Hello.
so sorry.
Hi.
I was on the F.A.T.E Global page.
Oh, that's okay.
I was on the F.A.T.E Global page. I'm like, what's going on? I thought you were going live from that page.
No, so I still go live from this page just because a lot of the resources come from this page, and then we go and merge everything from that page too, just because we want as many people as possible to see you. And
okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Hi.
We're just happy to have you. So
yes,
guys,
hi, how are you? I'm happy to talk to you. I can't wait. I've been looking forward to this.
Oh, yay, me too.
I have.
I have as well. Your spirit is glowing. You look good. So
Thank you.
That's awesome.
You know, I was trying to get my hair situation together because I've been slacking. But you look amazing.
Yes. Look good to me. Thank you.
Thank you, sis. Thank you, sis. I got the Rob Moss collection jacket,
Let me see
right
that.
now. This is the official. Johnny, can you hold this for me, bro? The thing is kind of coming off. This is just the official
Johnny.
talk to me.
Hi.
Can you see the talk to me on it?
Oh, wow. That's so
it's a little,
cool.
It's a little something. It's a little something.
I would cop that.
That's what I'm saying. You know what? Well, I'm going to do the challenge and I'm going to be giving some away for free. So before we put it out, we're going to make sure Team Rob Moss is fully equipped.
That sounds good to me. So can they purchase it as well, or?
Yes, they'll be able to purchase it in November. So for the holiday season, if you want to get a little Rob Moss collection swag while you're, vibing.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm
so
excited about this because I'll definitely support. I want me some Rob Moss collection.
Thank you, sis. And you're interviewing me, but I need to interview you as well because I'm so excited, but we'll get into that later because I'm very excited as well. I have to show love.
Oh, of course. But right now, this is your moment. So
I know.
Yes, so let's live in that moment. So guys, for those of you that are just joining in, this is Rob Moss. He's an amazing, amazing singer living out in LA. You guys can go ahead and find his music on all platforms, which I'm sure he's going to shout out and tell us where we can find it.
Yes. You can go Spotify, Apple Music. I also have everything for free at robmossmusic.com. So, if you want to download the album and you can't purchase it on iTunes or whatever, you can go and download it for free at robmossmusic.com. So, but it's available everywhere. I'm trying to set up my lighting.
Awesome. No problem. Get that good lighting.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yes, guys, this is Rob Moss. He's going to share his journey with us. He's going to share some tips and he's going to talk about his new music. So we're hoping that you're going to be inspired by his testimony as well as the work that he's doing currently. Guys, I'm Angelica on behalf of F.A.T.E Global, the Foundation for Artistic Talent and Empowerment. We do go live with artists. We've actually had a lot of different activations going on, so we took a break on doing this to kind of do some other business. But I went on and I dropped Rob Moss's Instagram handle below, so make sure you guys go ahead and follow him, show love, support.
I follow that. Yes.
Reach out, show all the love, get you some merch. I dropped the F.A.T.E Global Instagram handle below. And if you guys like me too, go ahead and follow me as well. But let's go
Yes.
ahead and jump into it. So let's just talk about it. You have some new music out. Do you want to talk about
Yes.
the music?
Yes, absolutely. As soon as I dropped the new music, I immediately reached out to you because I was like, I had such a great time. Last time we had such a great conversation, but I was in the middle of like, being creative and trying to get my single together. So I was like, okay, when I have it ready to go, I want to make sure that I reach out. So thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Yes. So I've been working really hard this whole quarantine and I completed a whole album.
Wow.
Yes, to be announced. It's called Project X. And
Wow.
it just, yeah, I've been working on it, I would say, for probably about 2 years, but really I locked in on it the last like 6 months, during the quarantine and just really locked in on it. And I've been sitting on this single for a while and it took a while to get the video done, to get the branding done. And I learned so much in this process because I had the song for so long. I've had the song since February, but I had to sit on it and, get the video done and get the branding done and figure out, how to release it in the right way in the middle of a quarantine. And I learned a lot about myself as an artist because I almost gave up and, went through so much. And then I put it out and it's been getting the most amazing reception from any of my other singles, but it's just a testament of a lot of hard work and wanting to make people have fun during this quarantine and just drop a really great, upbeat, nice record before we get into all the other stuff on the project. So, it was a learning experience and just, I feel like with every project you drop, a new project and you're tested even more. And it took so much to get all of this music done and coordinated, and I almost gave up and had to fight so hard that I knew that once I put this out, this is gonna be, it has to be the best I've ever, done because I know that I put that much work into it, and that's pretty much what it is, and I wanted
Yeah.
to, put that energy out there,
That's awesome. Well, we're so happy you're doing that because we love your music. So, do you think that what's going on currently in the world, like, the racial injustices, the stuff going on with COVID, do you feel like these things have made you more creative? Because you said you kind of went into your bubble. You spent the last 6 months kind of developing this. Do you feel like
Absolutely.
creatively?
Absolutely. That was the most singular thing. And also other things like losing Andre Harrell, I
I know it was
recorded
very
this
important to
song. Yes,
A big
because
influence.
that I went to Texas to sing for Aunt, and that was
And he loved
one
you.
of the best. He smiled, and that moment, it was like, that was the day, literally the day after is when I went to the studio and did this song, literally. And I
Wow.
was so happy. And that's why to talk to me, because I was thinking about come and talk to me, because that was the audition
Hey,
song I was doing. Wanna meet you,
I love
talk
that.
to you. That's the song I was singing. So when I was in the studio, it was like talk. So when the Andre Harrell situation, that's one of the many things. But I would say everything that happened this year, this singular, it was such a reawakening that I had as a person. Like, I mean, like, it's like it's just like I felt a different level of, I felt like as a Black man, my level of excellence just had to go up because I felt like my worth and my purpose as a Black person, I just feel like it's just been realized even more through everything that's happening. You know what I mean? And that was one of the singular things because, I had to take some months off from making music and just educate myself. You know what I'm saying? And that's what about, the first 4 to 6 months of it was just, you have to take some time and just read books and learn about history, learn about things that might not pertain to music, but are just about history, especially in that climate of when everything happened. And when I did get back into the studio, it was literally like I would be in the studio and I would go right out the studio and just go right to a protest and just go right because everything was going on right outside of the studio. You know what I mean? And just crying, you know what I'm saying? And coming in the next day with a hoarse voice, you know what I'm saying? Because, and it was like, but it was very important for me it's very important for me to make music that can make people feel good at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Very important to have music that can make people forget about everything and just enjoy a song. But when you listen to the full album, you'll feel the energy of everything because it was inevitable,
Nice.
Literally, it's inevitable. It was a whole time. There's so much emotion, you know what I'm saying, involved. But, at the same time, it's like it's still music and you still want to dance, and that's what the That's
Mm-hmm.
what the single is, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I love that. So, putting music out during
Thanks.
COVID, can you kind of speak to like self-doubt or insecurity? Those emotions may come with putting music out during a pandemic and how people will respond to it.
Absolutely. You know, and you know what I realized, and for any artist out there, because that's what I feel like the purpose of my whole journey is just to share with people as I go along.
Mm-hmm.
Do not feed into it at all, because what I learned is that the audience, they want it. They want the music. They
They want it.
want to feel good. I went
Mm-hmm.
through a year of doubting.
Mm.
Like, I don't know if it's, I don't know. It's not hot. It's not, they're not gonna,
Right.
and when I just decided to just let it go, it was like you realize people are like, well, we've been waiting. We've
Mm-hmm.
been waiting because you realize some people actually do. They want that music, but as an artist, you're just thinking, we're our own worst critics, so that was a big, 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 big thing. But what I learned afterwards was, if you have the right song and, and everything, just, if it feels good to you, put it out there,
Right. Right.
sincerely. And that's no matter what people say, no matter how many people sleep, no matter what, just if you really feel that feeling when you listen to it, put it on out there, even if it's the middle of a pandemic, because people need that happiness now more than ever.
Mm.
And that's what I learned. I learned that, oh, this is actually a time where people want to listen to music. They're sitting at home, they want to listen to music, and they want to listen to real music. So I say, once you get past that, you just put it out there, and you're gonna feel that love. Every ounce of love you put into it, you're gonna feel it back.
That's awesome. I love that. Thanks so much
Yeah.
for that. So, can you kind of talk about, you know, struggling with finding your voice as an artist, two,
Mm,
keeping your voice and not trying to do what's trendy? Because, a lot of people
yeah.
sounds in our generation and what's being put out can sound a bit similar sometimes. So, how do you kind of stay in your own lane and remain unique to you?
That's a great, 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 great question. Staying unique, I feel like for me, it's all about being inspired. It's all
Mm,
about what you're inspired by. Me as a
mm,
listener, I love everything. I listen to everything from all of the trap
mm-hmm.
to all of the trippy to the R&B to the old, but
Okay.
I listen to it all because I love music. I like going out and dancing, having a good, well, I used to like, when the world was open. So when I'm at the club, I'm not necessarily listening to the same music that I might listen to when I'm alone. I like all
Right.
different types of music, and I'm aware of what's going on. I think
Mm,
it's important to stay aware.
mm,
But as far as when I go into the studio, I'm inspired by completely different stuff. I go back to the 70s. I
mm.
go back to, seriously, I can go into a whole tangent where I'll be on YouTube for 3 days just looking at every Prince concert ever.
Nice.
Like
Yeah.
literally the Four or
Yeah.
the Gap Band, or I'll
Mm,
go on to Aretha Franklin, Ike and Tina Turner, Al Green, so many. I go on these deep tangents because that's another thing I learned during this quarantine is it's important as Black people to be aware of our history. It's
mm-hmm.
important to know where a lot of these samples and stuff come from as
Right.
well.
Right.
So I started, as I'm inspired by music, when I go into the studio, I don't necessarily think I want to make what's hot and what I feel is trendy. I just go by what I'm naturally inspired
What
by.
you
You
feel.
know what I mean? As far as what I've been in my head, the books I've been reading, you know what I'm saying? I'll go and read a book. Like I read L.A. Reid's book, and I went through a whole fascination with everything L.A. Reid ever produced. And I had a new respect for it because I read the book, and that
Mm,
inspired me as a songwriter. So what I love and what I enjoy as a person and what I bop to is not always mutually exclusive to what I feel like I have to make. I feel like it's my duty to go in and make whatever it is that God gives me, which might be a bop. It
mm-hmm.
might be a bop.
It might
It
be a
might
lot.
be something that can fit in because I might want to make something like that. But,
Right.
I got past that because for a long time I did used to think that. But now I just be like, you can only do what you can do. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You can't do, you know?
I love that. That's awesome. Dope, dope advice. So you just dropped the music video. Can you kind of speak to developing that music video, or you dropped the snippets on Facebook?
Yeah.
So developing that music video, what did that look like? How
Yeah.
did you come up with that creative vision? Because I loved it.
Thank you. Thank you. That video was, I got to give a shout out to Jeff Ross and Brian Petty because they are two of the most like amazing creative people that I know. And they pretty much, came up with the whole concept and put it together.
Mm-hmm.
I got the location and said, this is what I want to do. And he was like, okay, don't worry about it. Just get your outfits. And we went out there, and I really just did what they told me to do. I'm not going to lie. They were like, okay, do it, that. And they edited it all together, and I sent them back my notes. And it took a while of going back and forth, and because I have to be very particular about every detail. But creatively, Brian Petty and Jeff Ross, amazing team that came together and really, really, really blessed me in a sense, I say, because they put in a lot of work to make sure that the video was tip top.
It is.
So yeah,
it's tip top level in quality and caliber. So when you
Thank you, sis.
independent artists, of course, like this, you're funding this stuff yourself. Can you
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about that grit and that grind and how you came up with a budget for yourself for the video and just how you lay that out for yourself? Because most artists don't know how to do that.
Absolutely. Well, at this point, I'm used to it because I've been doing it for so long. You know what I mean? But and I feel for every artist to know that it's about the music first, because if you have inspiring music, it all goes back to being inspired. If you are inspired, you'll make art that inspires people. And if you have inspiring art, it'll get you things that money cannot buy. There's certain things that it may look like I paid $1 million for that I might have didn't even pay for at all.
Right.
That I only paid $500 for, only paid $200, or maybe somebody came along for the Talk to Me video. Huge shout out to Brian Petty, who came with all these amazing cameras and drones, and he had all this stuff flying, and he just said, bro, I love the song and I want to make this the best video for you possible. You know what I mean? So a lot of my particular journey has been a lot of that, working with people who are inspired by the music and by whatever it is that I'm doing, because I try to put my heart into the music if I don't do nothing else. So I would say a lot of that, but to an extent, you do have to have a budget and you do have to be realistic. See, it's the middle of a pandemic, so there was really no budget for this, really, because I'm usually able to do shows and usually able to do things and work and make money to do things. And now it's just all about the streaming and all of that, So there's a certain amount of discipline that it does take. You do have to know, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I believe it's important to have a marketing budget, to think about when you put your music out, how is it going to hit people, whether that's graphic designs, social media promotion, whatever. And then, for your video, you're realistic. But I would say before spending, because you can spend $10,000 on a video and it come out trash because the people aren't inspired. You have to get with people that are inspired. Who's ever doing your video or your team, make sure they're into the song, make sure that they feel what you're trying to do, make sure that they're going to do all that they can to paint you in the right light. And those are the people, that you work with. It's all about the team, I would say. It's more so about the team than it is the budget, because when you have the right team, you're going to have a budget, but they're going to be more so concerned about the quality of the content than they are the budget,
Yeah, makes sense. I love that. So do you because you've been doing this for a long time, you've been doing it by yourself. I know you have a team for that comes out, but speak to that a little bit, the whole idea of like, you reap all the benefits, you reap more of the benefits when you're doing everything by yourself, being independently, but not having a big label to back you up, and then you only get a little tiny percentage of your profits.
Absolutely.
Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I feel like it's all a learning process, but it's so many ups and downs. You got to be prepared for it. I remember when I first moved to LA and I went to the ASCAP conference and I think it was James Fauntleroy, one of the most amazing songwriters. He was like, to every artist out here, homelessness is in your future. And I was like, what? I was like, nah, I swear he said it. And I was like, man, nah. But as I continued on in my journey, I was like, okay, I've had moments like that where you do sacrifice everything for the music because it's required. But as far as being independent, it's like, I do feel like I won't be independent forever. I feel like the more groundwork that I do, it's only going to make my leverage better to when I do enter that room and I can negotiate maybe a major deal or a major something. If you have the more work you've done on your own, the more leverage you have with a label. So I look at all of this as groundwork, core people and core fans that have been with me for years that really buy and stream every time, and we grow that number. That's important. That's an important part of the process. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like most people don't have enough courage to do that because they want to be viral right off the gate, or they want to have a label. But when you get signed to a label, anybody will tell you it doesn't really mean anything if you don't know how to work. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So I
Mm-hmm.
look at it as like, it's really hard, and I always tell people I'm by myself, not because I want to be, but because I have to be, because I have a different sound. And some people, I know how to make songs that could get me signed to a label that might be whatever, but I choose to follow what's in my heart. I choose to do whatever sound is in my heart. And some people might not like it. I've had label people look at me and tell me that this is trash. It's not going to work. Like I've been in those rooms and in those
Wow.
meetings with the, oh yes, that's a part of it. Oh, of course. Been in those big studios with those big A&Rs or those label people where they say, I like your aesthetic, but I don't know, I'm disappointed in the music. I mean, no, really. And this is music
Wow.
that I put my heart into, and not necessarily because my music was bad, but because,
They
what
just,
they're looking
that's an
for,
opinion.
that's an opinion. And so those are all things that I chose, in my head, that I took some of the things that they said and took it for what it was. And some of it was just hurtful. But it's like you have to make a choice. Are you going to keep going? Are you going to stop? That was in 2016. I can think of 50 amazing things that have happened to me since then from my music. Like I
Right.
can think of 50 amazing things, radio, from everything that happened as an independent artist, just solely off of my music since that person told me that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the idea of a label and the idea of that big thing, it's a great idea, but when you really see what it is, you might be grateful. I've become more grateful for my journey as an independent artist to be able to actually own my music, and in the future actually have stake in my music, which is more than a lot of artists can say, even if they have more record sales. So
Yeah. You're a boss, a full blown entrepreneur, and you're doing it.
learning,
And
really
that's,
learning,
hmm
failing,
hmm
but learning.
absolutely. I love that. That's what it's about. So,
Thank you.
how do you usually, because you said you had people like, if you invest your whole heart into creating some music, and usually, an artist is putting themselves out there raw on the line. This is who I am. This is who I am in this moment. And this is
Yeah.
what I'm sharing with the world. So, how do you usually, like, I know that you said it was hurtful, some of the things that maybe some of those people said negatively, those opinions or whatever the case might be. But how do you keep a level head and stay grounded in your truth about who you believe yourself is to be, outside of distractions or negative feedback?
It's very hard, very hard, very, very hard. I would say God, definitely, but God is separate from music stuff. Like I feel like my relationship with God is not always mutually exclusive to my job and to my, what I do as a music artist. But I try to, keep, let God order my steps, and, deal with God on those things that are really, tormenting. And, for me, I'm so inspired by music itself. Like when I go and look at a Michael Jackson video, and I look at that and I'm inspired. I'm inspired by my gift. I'm like, you know what? I might not be Michael Jackson, but I share that same passion as him. I can
Yeah,
sing. It's a gift
I
to
love
be
that.
able to sing. It's a gift to be able to write. It's a gift to be able to rap. It's a gift to
Yeah.
have an image. All
Hmm.
of these things are gifts that bring joy to people. So even when I'm going through that process, I'll a lot of the times, and I revert back to the past, and I revert back to music itself and all of my favorite performers, and I'm just inspired by them. And I'm like, you know what? You can do that. It's important to just do what you love. And at the end of the day, this is what you love. So if you don't love it, I always tell people, if you just want to drop a single and be casual, but I feel like to some extent you have to love what you're doing and love the music to have that drive to keep going. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Hmm.
And that's what keeps it going.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. I love that. So you
I
have,
love these questions.
yeah, right. These are some good questions, and you just knocked
Fire.
them out.
I'm learning some stuff myself. I'm
Your
like,
interview skills are like up
I'm learning
here.
stuff myself. I'm like, Rob, you need to come back to this line and write that down for
This is,
yourself.
you're a natural. This is easy for you. Okay.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I've been learning a lot on this journey. I really have. Learning a
You
lot.
have a lot to share, so that's
Hmm.
awesome. And then you're also, your heart space is in a great space as well, to where
Thank you.
you
I'm
actually
trying.
care, you're giving, you're overpouring and overflowing, your spirit's bright. So we're happy to
Thank you,
have you.
sis.
Of course. So in regards to this new music, what does your promotion process look like? You mentioned social media, you mentioned some of these different things. What are you doing as an independent? Because being an independent is being a boss. You don't have anybody
Absolutely.
to blame. It's
Yeah,
just, it's me. It falls on me, at all
absolutely.
times. And I'm an entrepreneur, so I know how that goes. You have nobody to point the
Absolutely.
finger at, but
Absolutely.
self development. So you grow quicker. But what does your
Absolutely.
promotional process look like?
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you talked about that because it's true. You got to have self. You got to have that self motivation to like, okay, whenever I drop something, even if it's only 10 people who listen to it, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to make sure that those 10 people are going to play the song 10 times
Mm-hmm.
because that's worth a lot. You know what I mean? That stream, that publish, that everything. You know, that's a small example, but that's pretty much how I look at it so that I
Yeah.
don't compare myself to other people who might get a million something when they drop it, because all of that will haunt you.
Mm-hmm.
All of that will haunt you. But if you realistically like, okay, this is my fan base, this is where I want to get to, and this is where I'm at, and this is how I'm going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Having a plan, you know what I mean? And if you don't have a budget, you know what I'm saying? You just have to creatively engage your audience, and that will turn into money. Because a lot of
Yeah.
times that's the huge struggle. Because if you do have a marketing budget, you can hire a PR team who can do these things for you. You know what I mean? And social media is the best thing ever because you can do digital marketing, you can run ads, you can do a lot of different things to promote your music to different audiences. You can do conversion campaigns. I have been growing my Spotify page organically through just learning about conversion campaigns, and I, as a songwriter, I don't want to learn about conversion campaigns,
Right.
but as an entrepreneur, when you learn that every conversion is a royalty, it's a
Mm-hmm.
publishing, it's a performance royalty, it's a everything, you're like, okay, I'll do it. And so there are a lot of things you could do as an artist, you know what I'm saying, to promote yourself. You just got to take advantage of it and have that discipline or put together a team who can do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but as far as the promotional process for the new music, for me, I always put music out and I let the music promote itself. You know, I do, like, you know, I reach out to certain people like yourself who are friends and innovators who I know I can talk to in a public space. But I always like to see what music does organically, because
Yeah.
sometimes a blog will pick up a song, you'll see
Mm-hmm.
people making videos, you'll be inspired to do a challenge or something like that. And, you know, you got to see what it does organically. And then according to that, you market yourself. You find people that are like those people that enjoyed it, and you find a way to expose yourself to more of those people.
Right.
It sounds complicated, but
Mm-hmm.
it's simple.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I love that. We're getting a ton of hearts and you're getting a ton of love in these
Oh,
comments.
thank y'all.
Yes.
Yes.
So when you talk about when you actually created this music, the new music, what was your headspace like? You know, were you in a place of feeling good? I know you said you were doing the protesting, and then you would lose your voice and then you were crying. So one, how did you say seriously? Because that's what we all were doing.
No, I'm
We were going
dead
through
ass,
it.
crying at a protest, then coming to the studio the next day, voice hoarse.
Voice hoarse, but still pushing through. One, how did you remain disciplined? And two, what was that headspace like? You know, how did you keep yourself kind of calm? And then also,
Yeah,
how did you overcome that adversity? Because you being a black male living where we live, you know, that's
man, too
that was
much.
very touching for you, of course, for all of us, all the
Yes.
things that we were experiencing during that time. And
And
then
then
to
police, they was like, there was one protest I went to where they really was. I'm like, bro, they was really on us, and I'm just like, bro. But you know, when I go into the studio, my biggest thing is escapism. It's escapism. So usually I always give this analogy, but it's kind of true. On my brokest days, like if I have a day where I'm just having a tough week or, you know, whatever, that's when I write my best rich songs.
wow,
That's when I write songs like Gucci, 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 Dolce, go,
got
go,
money,
oh,
got
boom, boom.
money.
Because I think like it's important for music to be, as a great friend of mine, Janae Sky, who just dropped a project today, amazing.
Oh, nice.
One of my best friends, please go check out her project since you begging. But she gave me some advice. She was like, sometimes you want to relate to what you're going through, and sometimes you want to escape from what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, with certain things, I would go into the studio and I was very inspired to make a lot of love songs. And I don't know why, because there was so much discombobulation going on. I
Mm-hmm.
made a couple songs that were reflective of that, but I was making love songs, like
Mm-hmm.
songs that were just about love and the pure love songs, kind of like the 90s a little bit. And I was like, oh, they don't really make songs like this anymore. But I was just so weird because I was like, I didn't know why I was inspired to go in that direction, but I realize now it's because maybe there was so much disarray in the world that your escapism from that was love, you know,
Right.
and going in and want to create a world of love, You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And not necessarily reflect the anger and the hurt and everything that I was feeling last night. Not in every song, at least.
Right.
Unless God naturally gives you that. If God naturally gives you that, then I say do it. But for me personally, you know what I'm saying? I was making music about all different types of things. You know what I'm saying? While I was doing it, because for me, it was important to, when I listen to this music, it's important that I'm happy, that I feel like when people listen to this, they feel good, or people say they want to make love, they want to get freaky. I like that because those are moments in our lives that we need.
Yes, we need them.
Now, you know, there's a
We
moments in
need
our
that.
lives that we need. So that's pretty much what my headspace was escapism. Not intentionally, but that's what it's always been for me. It's like always like for my me. Sometimes you just feel that pain and you just have to write about it. But some people make really great music when they're depressed. And some people do. I don't feel like I make the best music when I'm depressed. I feel like, no, seriously, I don't feel like, no,
Right.
some people can just bask in that pain and come out with these albums. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. Come out with these albums when they're sad. And I try it and I'll be like, this is trash. I don't like it. But if I go and make something that don't make me feel good, that's what escapism is for me. Not with every song, but with a lot of it, it is. You know?
I love that. I love that you're so conscious about that. But again, choosing this career path as an artist is
I'm going through
extremely
technical.
enlightening. And you learn so many so quickly. So could you kind of speak to now, you're not able to do concerts, because of what's going on currently with social distancing and stuff like that. Will you be
Yeah.
possibly virtual concerts, or, what's your ideas and feelings about the idea that artists are unable to make money that way now? So,
Yeah. I'm sorry.
game plan moving forward. No problem.
Yeah, well, you know what? Thankfully, I was able to do some virtual concerts. Shout
Yeah.
out to the Set Live and Raj Will, because we did an amazing virtual concert where they had the lights,
Wow.
the band. Amazing. It felt like a
Wow.
real show. I loved it. But for me, just personally, without that energy from the audience, it just does not 1000% feel the same. It can never feel the
Yeah.
same. And that's just
Yeah.
for me personally. I've been experiencing performing on stage since I was in 7th grade professionally, at the Detroit Opera
Wow.
House, as we talked about in the last interview,
Yeah.
so for me, even when I would do the virtual shows, and I love it because you can make some money and a lot of really great creative things that we are allowed to do. I have a few projects I'm working on now that are virtual and that are amazing. But
Nice.
when you're used to being in front of an audience and getting that immediate thing from the people for so many years and just having to stop, it's like, it's very, very hard. So that was and still is very difficult, but I was inspired to, like I told you, I started reading more books and learning more things about music and business. And I learned that there are ways I can make money as an artist that go beyond shows. So like merch, I started working with Marcus over at Artistic Movement, and we started working on the merch collection. I started learning about the different types of royalties, and I registered my publishing because I learned that, publishing is actually a big thing, and you actually make money off that even as an independent artist. And I got all of these different ways that I can make money and creatively do things. I'm inspired to make more music because streams, the more music you drop, the more streams you're getting. So I'm like, okay, let me drop some new music, all of these things. So it forced me to go into a different space as a creative, but that's how I dealt with it.
I love that.
And it worked out.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. And you're just still pressing forward, staying the
We
course.
got to. We got to.
So when you kind of, you're in this space where you just dropped this project, or we see the music video, we see the things that you're doing. How does it make you feel now that you have this collection of work, this body of work now?
It's still, for me, it's still very up and down. It's like the end of a pregnancy. It's like, okay, it's coming, but it's like, that's kind of what it is. But because it's still so many ups and downs and decisions to be made, and all different types of things. But it always feels good because you feel like you close a chapter when you complete a project. You feel like, okay, that's a moment in time of who I was, and then you go forward and you drop the videos and you still live in the music and you tour it and everything. But artistically, you close a chapter, and I've already made a whole nother project since then. You know, I'm
Right.
constantly in the studio, constantly
Constantly.
working. You know what I mean? So it always feels good, but getting the reaction from the people, that's the best thing. And when I drop the single and I know that people are really listening to it, people in the hood, people that's the thing that really keeps it going. If it wasn't that, I don't know. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, I
I don't
like
know.
that. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Awesome, because you do it for them. You do it for yourself, but you do it for them. Like that's why you
absolutely.
want that engagement in those concerts and so forth. So you shared a lot of
I love
stuff
it.
with us about so much knowledge that I feel like any up and coming
Thank
singer,
you.
songwriter, artist can learn from your journey, from your knowledge, from all these gems that you're learning and these nuggets you're learning along the way. So if you can leave 3 tips with them, like 3 things that mostly, stood out for you that you think that they should be doing, not necessarily during COVID, because people are just doing what they can right now. But if it was 3 things that you say any artist, singer, songwriter should be doing, what is that they should be doing?
3 things. I would say the first thing is believe in yourself, like
Mm-hmm.
intensely, because you're just gonna, so many people are gonna doubt you and not pay you any attention in the beginning, like, and that's just what it is, like, or not, maybe not as many as you like, because
Yeah.
that's just how it is, you might go through different things. So, but if you really believe in yourself and you believe I'm talented, this is what I'm called to do. I don't care what anybody else thinks, because I went through a huge struggle because I went to school for acting and I went to school for musical theater and I studied opera. So when I first started doing music, it was very much like people were like, oh, no, I don't like this because,
Mm-hmm.
no, you're an opera singer, you're an actor. No, that's
Oh,
not what
right.
you are. You're not being yourself. And I was like, no, I've been writing songs since I was 9 years old.
You
This is
don't
what I
know
want to
me.
do. You don't know me. And you might, like, I remember when you called me and you were like, hey, Rob, I want to let you hear some music. I know you're busy, da 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 da. And I was like, oh my God, yes, yes, I'll call you back. But even in that, it was that surprise, you know what I'm saying, factor of, you know what I'm saying, where you're like, people are just gonna have a perceived perception of you and you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
have to fight it off. So, but once you have that belief, like, no, I believe in myself. I can be a successful artist. I
Mm-hmm.
know that I can do this. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's step number one. You got to believe in
Yes.
yourself, like, to an extreme level. You have to think that
Mm-hmm.
you're the best. You got to think that you can run
Yeah.
with the best
Lit-
of them.
yeah.
Literally. And like, seriously. I be talking
Figuratively.
to my friends sometimes and I be like, listen, and I'm not saying this to be controversial, but I be like, man, I'll say something like, man, I'm better than Drake. And they be looking at me like, and I'd be like, listen, if I didn't have that type of confidence for myself, I wouldn't have any music out, because
Yeah.
even if I don't feel, I have to have, that's what I have to be.
You
I
need
have
that.
to go, and not that I think about Drake, because I don't even really listen to Drake. I love Drake. That's one of my favorite artists, but I don't listen to him and think like I have to be better than him.
Right.
But I'll just say that and put and have that level of confidence, because
Right.
when you've been doubted on, when you've been, you know, just doubted and slept on for so long, if you don't have inner confidence, you're just gonna give up. You're gonna
Fact.
give up. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And I've seen a lot of artists do that. Start off great, drop a project,
Mm-hmm.
amazing artists, and then they never do it again because they know
Mm-hmm.
that, oh, this is gonna take more work than I thought
Right.
to do
Right.
that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
you have that love for music and you have that confidence, so number one, believe in yourself. Number two, I would say is like quality of content.
Mm.
Like, I don't care if you rapping about, you can be rapping about the sun and the sky, one, two, three. If it's quality, you know what I'm saying? If it really sounds nice,
That's what
people
I'm.
are gonna mess with it. You know what I'm saying? I would feel like just make sure what you're putting out is good. Make sure if it's from the heart. You might can afford to get it big, mix and master, but you can learn how to mix and master yourself and learn
Yeah.
how to make sure it at least sound decent. Learn about making music. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to just putting something out sometimes. And even the artists that just put stuff out and people think go viral, they're still artists that went into the studio and got creative. So I would say, quality of content is number two.
Mm-hmm.
Just, make sure you're putting out something that can stand out
Yeah.
realistically. You know what I'm saying? And then number three, teamwork makes the dream work. Even if you are doing it alone, the team and stuff that's around you, that's what's going to uplift you. You know what I mean? Even if it's your people you work with musically, your producers, your engineers, your team, however, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can only do so much on your own,
Mm-hmm.
so I guess them would be the three. It's a million of them I could think of, but
Yeah, you have so much to share. We love that. Thank you so much. I mean,
thank you for the
you truly are a
platform.
king. Of course, brother, and you wear your crown extremely well. You take your
I'm
baton and
trying.
you run extremely fast. You're a sprinter. You're a
Thank
long
you.
distance runner, but you're a sprinter too. And, we're just so thankful
Tired.
that, yeah, you tired. You need some water.
Tired.
I love it. But no, I mean, you give back so much too, and your heart is in an amazing space as well. So, I mean, you truly are a developed artist, and you put the work in, you faced a ton of adversity and overcame it. So, you're definitely a
I'm sure a
champion.
lot more to
And
come.
yes, you're definitely a champion. And so you've overcome so much and you have so much to share. So we just want to say thank you on behalf of F.A.T.E Global for just taking
Thank you,
time to
sis.
share this. Yes, you've always been, a very open, welcoming person, but, sharing your gift with the world the way you do it with confidence. I mean, that's so bold. And so we honor you for that.
Thank you, sis. I appreciate it and great. And, I'm here anytime you want to talk or anything, you know what I'm saying? And I look forward to hearing some of your amazing music because I just
Yes,
know you and I know
I'm
you
so
and
excited
great
about
luck
that.
on this journey. And as a woman, you know what I'm saying, in this industry, and, this is just my little 2 cents, you know what I mean? Just don't feel like you have to be nice or take anybody's shit. Just
Come on now. Come
do it.
on.
I always tell women that. I always tell women that because the music industry is a very male, ego
Dominated.
driven industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel as a woman, if you have ideas, do your ideas, express them, do exactly what you want to do. Don't let anybody tell you anything, no matter what these dudes will try to label you as a B word or what difficult, whatever. If you're
Mm-hmm.
bringing the talent, the gift, and everything to the table, you have the right to control it.
That's a word. I needed that. Thank
That's
you
no,
so much.
that's for yes, to
That's
and
a word.
truly, truly, and
Mhm.
for all women, you know what I'm saying, for all women, because as males, it's just a male dominated field. You can, you go in and I see how a lot of these males feel about women, but me personally, coming from Detroit, I was raised by women and I was raised by a lot of very strong, amazing women, and I feel so these niggas will try to play you, excuse my language, but they'll try
They
to
will.
play you if you let them. Don't
They
do
will.
it.
They will. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for
That's
that
real
nugget,
talk. I look
specifically.
forward to it.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Thank you to F.A.T.E Global and everybody. We appreciate it. Talk to me. It's out now. Please
Grab
go
his merch.
stream it everywhere. I'm playing it. Okay.
Awesome.
Oh,
Where can they
never mind.
purchase the merchandise from?
RobMossMusic.com. RobMossMusic.com. Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
We
And
gonna
they also
post
can
it.
stream the music there for free, and they can stream the music on all platforms, right?
Absolutely. Apple Music, Spotify. Check out the incredible video on YouTube as well. And yep, download for free on my website as well. Thank y'all.
Yes, well, thanks so much, King. Again, continue to run your race, and you wear your crown extremely well. We're so
Thank
grateful
you.
to have you. Your time, you could have been doing anything right now, but you came on here to bless our platform and
This
help
is
so many
it.
other young artists that are on their way, on their journey. So it's a younger version of you that's going to watch this and is going to be inspired by your testimony. So
Oh,
again,
wow. I hope so.
yeah, that's life. But we appreciate you. And again, I dropped Rob Moss, his Instagram handles below. Show him some love. Reach out to him. Support his journey. F.A.T.E Global's there as well. We do go live with artists each week. We try to share their testimonies, hoping that they'll inspire you, becoming the mentor that maybe we never had. We're trying to be that for you. So again,
Absolutely. Amazing.
thank you so much. Blessings, brother.
Thank you. Love you. Peace.
Love you too. Bye-bye.